A brief intro. Felix was from a humble Christian family, but his destiny was about to be ruined by the very person he loved the most. After the death of his father, Ngozi, his mother, started showing her true colors. She was always abusing him and comparing him to Obinna, the rich son of her neighbor. This constant nagging pushed Felix to follow Obinna to the city, who introduced him into money ritual to make massive wealth overnight. But despite all these great wealth, Felix was very unhappy. This ritual was turning him into a beast every night, a beast that must be fed with a lady every week. Instead of Ngozi to find a solution to end this strange thing happening to her son, she actually loved it. She was always bringing multiple ladies weekly for Felix to devour, so she can have a lot of money to spend on her greed. But then something was giving Felix concern. The other people who also did the money ritual were dying. Even Obina, who introduced him to the old man, just lost his life after failing the task given to him. Felix told his mother he was stopping the money ritual, but Ngozi, in her usual manner, immediately kicked against the idea of Felix undoing the ritual. "Listen to me, my dear son. I am your mother. I won't see something bad about to happen to you, and I will let it happen. Just trust me. As long as I keep bringing these ladies to you, you will be fine. No harm will come to you. Believe me," she told him, while patting him gently on his shoulder. Felix was silent. He was confused, not knowing what to do. Ngozi smiled softly. She knew her trick were working on him. Little did she know, she was digging her own grave. For a long time, Felix was silent. After a while, he told her he needed time to think about this and to make his own decision. Ngozi smiled to herself. She knows that no matter what, Felix must play to her tune. For days, Felix was in a sober reflection. He was tired of the sacrifices. He was taking souls of innocent ladies every week, and he just can't believe how far he has strayed in his pursuit of wealth and affluence. What is the need for this massive wealth? I don't even have the rest of mind to enjoy these riches, he thought to himself. And there and then, he made up his mind to turn a new leaf. He decided to pay a visit to the native doctor who performed the ritual on him once more to help him undo the money ritual. He did not tell his mother about his decision to stop these sacrifices because he knew she would kick against it. So the very next day, Felix paid a visit to the old native doctor's shrine, totally uncertain of the outcome of his visit. The old man listened with a surprisingly calm expression as Felix told him the reason for his visit.
Baba, my reason for coming is none other than for you to undo the spell you cast on me.
Felix started, hitting the nail on the head with an audacity that even surprised him.
I'm tired of sacrificing the ladies. Even if I lost all my worldly possessions, I don't care. I don't want more blood to be on my head. Please help me, Baba.
He pleaded with him with the look of regret and worried concern on his face. The old man threw his careless on the mat in front of him and started speaking in some strange incantation. After a while, he stopped abruptly. For a long time, the old man was silent, with his eyes closed, like someone in very deep meditation. After a while, he told him,
My son, the spirits have heard your supplications, and luckily for you, there's a solution to your problem. But this solution will come at a cost. Are you ready to do whatever it will take for your deliverance?
He asked him with a stern face. Felix was very surprised and glad that there was a solution to his problem. He was visibly happy. Finally, there would be no more sacrifices, no more transforming into a horrible beast every night. No more terrible scream in his ears. He was ready to do anything for that, even if it meant returning all the wealth he had gained through the money ritual. With a slight smile on his face, the old man told Felix the condition.
For you to be free, you must make one final sacrifice. You must sacrifice the one you love the most. And the spirits have determined it is your mother you will use for this sacrifice. Once you make this sacrifice, the spell that is turning you into a beast will be broken, and you will be free once more.
He told him. The expression on Felix's face changed from that of joy to sadness. He was not happy with what the native doctor told him. The thought of sacrificing his own mother made him shudder. He told the old man he needed more time to think about this so he can make the best decision. Back at home, Felix was devastated. He burst into tears. The condition the old man gave to him was the last thing he expected. Even though he was ready to do anything for the ordeal he was passing through to stop, he was not ready to take his mother's life. He loved his mother so much that he was ready to get himself in harm's way just for her to be safe and secure. So there and then, Felix made up his mind. He was not ready to make his mother a sacrificial lamb. At the same time, he will stop eating the ladies. He was ready to bear the consequences of his action. He knew this decision would get the demons controlling him angry, but he did not care. That same evening, something happened. With her were some beautiful ladies. They were hookup girls. Ngozi was happy. She was telling them something, and they were all laughing heartily. They were not aware of the grave danger they were in. Felix knew what was happening. These were the girls that would be sacrificed that night. He was very upset and disgusted, and he did not hide his displeasure.
Mama, what is the meaning of this? What are these girls doing in my house? Before I close and open my eyes, all of you should leave my house immediately before I release my dogs on you.
He thundered. With that, he gave them a clip of money for them to share among themselves. Back outside, the ladies were very angry because Ngozi had promised them great financial gain the following morning if they slept with Felix. Little did they know, God just spared their lives. Back inside, Ngozi was very angry and mad at Felix. Felix, what is wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? Do you know the work I put in just to secretly secure these ladies for you? Where on earth am I going to get you a lady for tonight? She asked him with the look of anger and disappointment written on her face. Felix did not hesitate to make his decision known to Ngozi.
Mama, please, let today be the last you will bring in a lady into this house for me to devour. I'm sick and tired of eating these ladies. They are not chicken. They are humans like us, for crying out loud. I have made up my mind not to eat anyone any longer, even if it will cost me my life and everything I own. I don't care.
He told her with the look of determination on his face. Ngozi was surprised at Felix's sudden change of heart. Ngozi broke down in tears. She started her old trick once more. How can you say you will stop performing this ritual? How are you supposed to keep taking care of me and your younger siblings? She lamented, with more tears flowing down her face. But to her surprise, Felix did not budge. He was not moved by Ngozi's tears. His mind was made, and he was not going back on his words. Ngozi was devastated and unhappy. She knew if Felix stopped performing the rituals, it will only be a matter of time. The old wealth she was enjoying will start dwindling until nothing will be left, and she don't want that to happen. Ngozi was very unhappy with Felix's decision. She wanted Felix to continue eating the ladies so the money would keep flowing, and Felix obviously was not ready to go back that path. and this disagreement between both of them caused them to quarrel most of the time. Whenever Ngozi started nagging and calling him names, Felix would leave the house and go to a nearby recreational park close to his residence. There he would relax and try to forget his sorrows. Felix was very unhappy. Even though he was trying to right his wrong, his mother was fighting him. And to make matters worse, because he stopped devouring these ladies, it was gradually having its negative impact on him. He was still being transformed into a deadly beast every night. But since he was no longer feeding the beast with the ladies, the demons controlling him were very angry. Every night, the roaring and growling coming from Felix's room was getting louder, and the beast was getting more violent and angry. Every morning, Felix would wake up with severe pain and mark all over his body, like someone that has been beaten. He knew he was having this experience because of his refusal to sacrifice the ladies to the beast. Sometimes he would be too weak to even get up from the ground. All through the day, he was so devastated. He knew the solution to his problem was for him to sacrifice his mother, just as the old man told him. But he just could not bring himself to do it. He loved his mother so much. Meanwhile, Ngozi was not aware Felix was enduring this pain because of her. Whenever Felix stepped out of his bedroom in the morning with bruises all over his body, Ngozi will make jest of him while calling him names. You are such a weakling. You are not man enough. You better start sacrificing these ladies and stop this suffering. Stay there and be deceiving yourself, she would tell him. All this mean remark made Felix very unhappy. He was very depressed and devastated. He would spend most of his time at the park because if he stayed back at home, suicidal thoughts were constantly running through his mind. He was at the lowest point in his life, not knowing exactly what to do with his life. But then that was when something happened. Every afternoon, whenever he was at the park, there was one beautiful lady that was always walking her dog past him. Whenever Lola saw him, she would stop by to greet him politely and they would exchange pleasantries. This kept on for some time, and before you know it, they became close friends. Lola would spend so much time with him and they would talk and laugh for a long time. Lola was a young doctor who just finished medical school. They soon fell head over heels in love with each other and they started dating. Felix stopped taking the drugs and alcohol. He had finally found something to live for. And to his surprise, the voices in his head were becoming less rampant, much to his joy. 3 months into their courtship, Felix proposed marriage to her and she said yes. Little did Lola know, Felix was keeping a very dark side of him hidden away from her. Felix was afraid to tell Lola his dark secret for fear of scaring her away. Meanwhile, Felix was really happy. His life was now starting to have a meaning. When Felix informed his mother he was getting married soon, Ngozi was very mad and very angry. She wanted Felix to go back to his old lifestyle of sleeping with random ladies and sacrificing them for money ritual. What made her even more angry was that Felix was no longer listening to her or even taking any of her advice. Despite Ngozi's disapproval, Felix got married to Lola and she soon moved in into Felix's house. The moment Lola stepped into her new home, she could sense something was terribly wrong, but she just could not pinpoint what was making her to have these gut feelings. On their wedding night, something strange happened that made Lola really confused. After retiring to bed that night, Lola and Felix slept off. She was so tired after the day's activities. But then she suddenly woke up in the middle of the night to an empty bed beside her. Her husband was nowhere to be found. She was very surprised. "Sweetheart, where are you?" she called out, but there was no response. She checked the bathroom, but it was not there. She went downstairs in search of her husband, but he was nowhere to be found. Much to Lola's surprise, she was worried. Where could he be? She thought to herself. The following morning, Lola was woken up to Felix's voice.
Honey, good morning. And how was your night?
He greeted her. Lola was relieved to see him. Sweetheart, where were you last night? I searched everywhere for you. You got me so worried. I couldn't sleep properly last night, she queried, with the look of worried concern on her face. Felix knew this would happen and he had his answers ready.
Oh, you mean last night? Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. I was at my study. There are some online jobs I must attend to every night. And please don't bother looking for me at night henceforth.
He told her with a wearing smile on his face. Even though the answer Felix gave to her was pretty straightforward, Lola was not convinced. All the same, she decided to give Felix the benefit of the doubt. But then, Felix's constant disappearance from their bedroom every night was a source of constant worries to her. Each morning, Lola would ask him his whereabouts the previous night. The answer was always the same.
Sweetheart, I was in my study attending to my online clients. Don't work up yourself for nothing.
He would tell her, but Lola can't help but feel something was terribly wrong, especially on the mornings when Felix would return with bruises all over his body. Honey, please tell me what the matter could be. What happened to you? Did you get into a fight? Why are you injured? She would ask him with the look of worried concern on her face. Felix would just give some flimsy explanations for his injury and quickly change the topic. All this made Lola very devastated. She was not a child. She could see clearly that Felix was keeping a secret from her. And most morning, Lola would come downstairs from their bedroom to meet Felix and Ngozi in a heated argument. But the moment they noticed her presence, they would stop the argument. Lola knew there was something they both were keeping hidden from her, but she just could not figure it out. And all her effort to get Felix to tell her what was happening was always futile. What she did not know was that her husband was a terrible, violent beast at night. But because Felix's secret strong room was soundproof, she could not hear the sound coming from the beast every night. Meanwhile, while this confusion was ongoing in their home, something else was giving her great concern. It was her mother-in-law. She was always angry with whatever Lola did. She was always nagging and calling her names, and this made Lola very sad. She wondered what she did to her mother-in-law to warrant such dislike from her, and she just can't find any reason for Ngozi's attitude towards her, and this made her always unhappy. Ngozi hated Lola with passion. She saw her as a stumbling block in her way. She felt Felix's marriage to Lola was what was preventing him from performing the money rituals. And whenever she complained to her husband about his mother's attitude towards her, he would always wave it off.
Sweetheart, don't work yourself up for nothing. You know mothers are always like this. Everything will be okay soon.
He would reassure her. Felix was sure his mother would come to like his wife once she knew her better. Little did he know great trouble was just around the corner. Because within Ngozi's heart, a dark seed was growing. Ngozi was very unhappy because of Felix's refusal to perform the rituals. The money available for her to spend was gradually dwindling, and she knew it was a matter of time before there would be no more money for her to throw around, and she dreaded the thought of ever going broke. And she saw Lola as the major reason for Felix's refusal to engage in the ritual. And that was when she decided to do the unthinkable. She decided to get rid of Lola and have Felix all to herself. She knows with Lola out of the way, it will be a matter of time before Felix will fall back to his old ways. So she started making secret plans to frame Lola so that Felix will hate her and divorce her. But then, while she was making these plans, something happened. That morning, a joyous shout rent the air. It was the voices of Felix and Lola. They were laughing and shouting happily while coming downstairs. Ngozi was very surprised and wondered what could be the cause for this celebration. That was when Felix broke the good news to her. Lola was pregnant for him. He will soon become a father. This news came as a big shock to Ngozi. She was furious, but she did not show it outwardly. She jumped up in jubilation and embraced Lola while congratulating her. Wow! So I will soon become a grandmother, she exclaimed happily. Felix opened a bottle of wine and they all drank happily to celebrate in advance the arrival of the bundle of joy. Even though Ngozi pretended to be very happy outwardly, deep down she was very angry and devastated. She knew with this pregnancy, Lola's stay in the home has been solidified. There was no amount of trick she was going to play that would make Felix divorce Lola, and this made her even more dejected. That was when she made up her mind to unalive Lola, even though she was carrying a grandchild. She did not care. She was ready to do anything that would get Felix to continue performing the money rituals, even if it would cost the life of her own grandchild. She did not care. She did not care that innocent ladies were losing their life to the money ritual. She just wanted endless wealth to feed her greed with, and nothing was stopping her. So for the next couple of days, she racked her brain on the best way to unalive Lola without any finger pointing back at her. She thought long and hard until a very dark idea crossed her mind, a plan that will annihilate Lola in the cruelest way possible. Her plan was simple yet very effective. She will trick Lola out of her bedroom into the living room in the dead of night. Then she will secretly open Felix's room door for the beast to escape out of the room into the living room and feed on Lola. She smiled to herself as she ruminated these dark ideas in her mind. As evil as her plan was, she saw nothing wrong with it. She knew this plan would work because Lola was totally unaware Felix transformed into a beast every night. But then, for Lola not to suspect any of her move, Ngozi knew she must be on good terms with Lola. So the next couple of days, Ngozi was really nice to Lola. She was always doting about her and calling her sweet names. She even prevented her from doing any of the house chores. Ngozi was doing all the chores and cooking by herself. Much to Lola's big surprise, she was very happy. Maybe she is so nice to me because I'm carrying a grandchild and she don't want me to stress myself up, she thought to herself with a broad smile on her face. She was really delighted that she and Ngozi were now getting along pretty well. Little did she know, all these were just part of Ngozi's grand plans to unalive her in the most unimaginable way possible. Hey, before we jump right back into our story, today massive hug goes to Barry, watching from Tazakana, Texas, USA. Sam, watching from Athens, and Mercy, watching from London. Thank you so much for the love and support. Where are you watching us from? Type it in the comment section so I can send you a hug in the next story. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and leave a like on this video. Alright, back to our story. On the fateful night, Ngozi planned to carry out a devilish plan. Lola and Felix had retired to their bedroom and they soon slept off soundly, totally unaware something terrible was about to happen that night. At exactly 12 midnight, Felix quietly sneaked out of their bedroom upstairs into his secret room downstairs, where he locked himself away every night for fear of tearing Lola apart. Ngozi was awake in her bedroom. gazing at the clock on the wall with the look of hideous determination on her face. At exactly 2 a.m. in the dead of the night, she kickstarted her plans. She knew this was the exact time of Felix's transformation. Lola was woken up from her sleep by the sound of a soft knock on her room door. It was the voice of Ngozi. She was calling to her from outside. "My dear, please come downstairs. Your husband asked me to call on you," she told her. Lola was very tired and surprised because of this midnight call from her husband. Anyway, she suspected nothing. She told her she would come downstairs in a moment. That was all Ngozi wanted. She was very happy. She rushed downstairs for the second part of her plans. She had a spare key to Felix's safe room. Her plans was well thought out. She would unlock the door, then rush back into her bedroom and lock herself securely indoor while the beast roamed the living room, awaiting Lola's arrival. Ngozi unlocked Felix's door and pushed it open. She immediately made for her bedroom. She was running as fast as her legs could carry her, but then it dawned on her she had made a terrible mistake. She simply underestimated just how fast the beast was. The beast has been starving and thirsty for blood for so many months, and with the room door open, it immediately booted for freedom and started going after Ngozi. It could smell Ngozi from a mile, and it was not losing sight of its next meal after months of going hungry, and it soon caught up with her. Lola was still in her room, preparing to come downstairs, when she started hearing some strange disturbing noise coming from the living room. The sound was obviously coming from a wild animal. It was roaring and growling violently. Lola was terrified. A scream pierced the air. It was the voice of Ngozi, her mother-in-law. Grabbing Felix's gun, Lola quickly rushed out of the bedroom to see what was happening. She was ready to risk her life for the safety of her family. The sight that greeted her eyes made her stop in her track. There was Ngozi on the ground, in a pool of her own blood. She was screaming in pain, while a wild animal was biting her severely. What made Lola more shocked was that as Ngozi was screaming, a lot of money was gushing out of her mouth. The beast suddenly stopped feasting on Ngozi and looked up suddenly. It had sensed Lola's presence in the living room, and it immediately charged at her. Lola was terrified. With her eyes shut tight and with trembling hands, she raised the gun and pulled the trigger. There was a painful roar from the beast. It had been hit. It fell on the ground, and to Lola's horror, the beast was transformed back into Felix, her husband. Her jaw dropped in disbelief. Both Felix and Ngozi were injured. Felix had been hit on his spine and he was agonizing on the ground in pain. Ngozi has been badly beaten by the beast and was losing a lot of blood. Even though there were 1,000 thoughts running through her mind, she knew she must do something and do it really quick so she won't lose them. She immediately put her medical experience into use. She rushed in to get all the medical equipment available in the house to commence treatment. She could tell that even though both of them were suffering, Ngozi's case was way more severe, and she decided to attend to her first. But then, with her last strength, Ngozi stopped her. In a faint voice, barely audible, she apologized to Lola. She confessed to all the evil plans she had for her while begging for her forgiveness. "Please forgive me, my daughter. Also promise me you will be by my son's side. He is a good man. I am the one who pushed him to become what he had become," she pleaded with her in a faint voice. After that, she passed on. Her injuries were too severe. Lola called on their health surgeon, who rushed down to their residence that same night with more equipment, and they successfully extracted the bullet from Felix's spine. while Ngozi's remains was moved to the morgue. While Felix was responding to treatment, Lola called some of Felix's relatives and told them what had happened. Everyone was in shock, and Ngozi's body was moved to the village and was buried in the evil forest due to the circumstances surrounding her death. After some time, Felix became okay, but there was a problem. The bullet had damaged his spine and he was confined to a wheelchair. Felix totally regretted his actions and begged Lola for forgiveness. Sweetheart, I have forgiven you. I can see you are a changed man. You shouldn't have hidden such a dark secret from me. There is a powerful man of God I will take you to that will deliver you, and the beast will stop returning. Felix was very happy that there was a solution to his problem. The very next day, Lola took Felix to see her pastor. There in the church, the pastor, along with group of some powerful prayer warriors, prayed for him all through the night, and they cast out the demons in the name of Jesus. Felix fell to the ground, yelling as the demon left his body. He felt much lighter, with a cold sensation all over his body. He had been delivered, much to the joy of everyone. The following day, Felix sold everything he had acquired with the ill-gotten wealth and gave the money to a charity for the poor. He and Lola moved to a much humbler apartment to start his life from scratch. He became a devoted Christian with a ministry to reach out to the youth, to create the awareness of the evil of following a fast lane to get wealthy. And he soon became a highly sought after speaker at conferences where he shared his story to inspire others. As for Lola, she soon gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, much to the joy of everyone. Even though Felix was now bound to a wheelchair, Lola still loved him. Felix moved his younger siblings from the village and put them in good schools where they received quality education and lived a purpose-driven life. And Felix and Lola lived till their old age, a happy couple. So here bring our story to a close. What were some of the lessons you learned from this story? Share it with others in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's episode from Anita Chocolate. Please don't forget to support my work by subscribing to this channel. Also turn on the notification bell so you will be the first to see our next upload. Also share this video with your loved ones and watch these other amazing stories from our channel.